Ambassador Kim Yuna stood alone in the center of the great chamber. Around her, rising in circles like a stadium, sat the representatives of 47 alien species. Some had scales, some had feathers, some were made of living crystal or floating gas. All of them were looking down at her. The human woman did not look away from any of them. She had stood in this same spot 300 years ago when Earth first made contact with the Galactic Council. She had stood here 50 years ago when Earth asked for full membership and was denied. She had stood here 12 years ago when the Void Swarm invaded and Earth sent 2 million soldiers to die, saving Council worlds. And she was standing here now, asking one more time. High Arbiter Velos sat at the highest point of the chamber. He was twice as tall as any human, made of purple crystal that glowed from within. His voice echoed through the room like thunder in a cave. The Council has heard Earth's petition for full membership. We will now vote. Yuna kept her face calm. She had learned long ago not to show emotion to these beings. They saw human feelings as weakness. They saw human passion as danger. They had never understood that human emotion was not weakness. It was fuel. The votes came in one by one. Red lights for no. Green lights for yes. Yuna counted them as they appeared. Red, 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 green, red, red, green. Her heart sank with each red light, but she did not let it show on her face. When the voting ended, the result floated in the air above her head. 41 against. 6 in favor. Earth was denied again. High Arbiter Velos made a sound that might have been a laugh. The Council has decided. Earth's petition is denied. Humans remain a junior species, with limited rights and no voting power. Yuna had expected this. She had prepared for this. But hearing the words still felt like a knife in her chest. May I ask the reason for this decision? Velos waved one crystal arm. The reasons are the same as always. Ambassador. Humans are too aggressive, too emotional, too young as a species. You have not yet proven that you can be trusted with real power. Yuna felt anger rise in her throat. Not proven? Earth had given everything to the Council. Human scientists had solved problems that had confused alien minds for centuries. Human doctors had cured diseases on 100 worlds. Human soldiers had died by the millions defending Council space. And still, they were called untrustworthy. She pushed the anger down and spoke calmly. Velos made that laughing sound again. We are grateful for Earth's assistance in that matter. But military sacrifice does not equal cultural maturity. Many violent species are willing to die in battle. That does not make them wise. Several other counselors made sounds of agreement. Yuna saw them nodding, clicking, vibrating in their various ways of showing approval. They agreed with Velos. They thought humans were useful but primitive, good for fighting and working, but not for thinking or leading. Then Velos spoke again, and his words made everything worse. However, the Council does have a new proposal for Earth. Given recent security concerns, we are implementing a protection tariff on all human technology sold in Council space. 30% of all profits will go to the Council Defense Fund. Yuna felt her hands tighten into fists at her sides. A 30% tax on human goods. That would destroy Earth's economy in Council space. That is unacceptable. Earth's trade agreements guarantee fair treatment. The agreements will be updated, Velos said. Also, the Council requires Earth to share the technical specifications for its fold drive technology. This faster-than-light system is too important to remain in the hands of one species. The Council will take control of it, for the good of all. That. End quote. End quote. Now Yuna understood. This was never about membership. This was about taking what Earth had built. The fold drive was humanity's greatest invention. It allowed instant travel across the galaxy while Council ships took days or weeks. The Council had wanted it for centuries. Now, they were simply going to take it. Around the chamber, the counselors were nodding again. They saw nothing wrong with this. In their minds, Humans were a junior species. Junior species did not get to keep good things for themselves. Junior species shared with their betters. Yuna's communication device vibrated against her wrist. A message from Earth. She glanced at it quickly, reading the words that Admiral Park Do-hyun had sent from Earth Command. When she finished reading, she felt something she had not felt in a long time in this chamber. She felt hope. She looked up at High Arbiter Velos and smiled. It was not a warm smile. It was the smile of someone who knows something others do not. High Arbiter, she said. The people of Earth, thank the Council for making our position so clear. We finally understand how the Council sees us. And so, I have a response. Velos leaned forward, his crystal body flickering with interest. He expected begging. He expected negotiation. He expected humans to do what they always did, which was ask for less while accepting whatever the Council offered. He did not expect what came next. Earth formally withdraws its petition for membership, Yuna said. A murmur went through the chamber. Velos made a dismissive gesture. That is your choice, of course. But you will regret it. Without Council membership, Earth will have no voice in galactic affairs. We will manage, Yuna said. But there is more. I am authorized to inform the Council that Earth is invoking Article 7 of the original Contact Treaty. The murmur became a rumble. Article 7 was the severance clause. It had never been used in the 4,000-year history of the Council. Earth is cutting all ties with the Galactic Council, Yuna continued. All diplomatic relations will end. All Earth personnel will leave Council space. All Earth technology will be removed. All trade agreements are cancelled. You have 30 days. Now the chamber was in chaos. Councillors were shouting, barking, clicking in their various languages. Velos rose to his full height, his crystal body flashing with anger. You cannot do this, he boomed. Earth depends on the Council. Yuna shook her head slowly. No, High Arbiter, you have it backwards. You depend on us. You just never realized it. In 30 days, you will begin to understand. She turned and walked toward the exit. Behind her, Velos called out, his voice dripping with contempt. Go then, humans. Sulk in your little corner of space. You will come crawling back when you realize how much you need us. Yuna stopped at the door. She looked back over her shoulder at the High Arbiter and the assembled Council. No, she said quietly. We will not. Then she walked out, and the great doors closed behind her. In the chamber, Velos laughed loudly. Let them go, he said to the other councillors. They will return within a year, begging for forgiveness. Humans always do. Most of the councillors laughed with him. But a few did not. Councillor Prin, of the Velith, one of the 6 who voted yes, looked at the closed doors with worry in her eyes. I do not think they are coming back, she said softly. And I do not think we understand what we have done. But no one was listening to her. They were too busy laughing at the foolish humans who thought they could survive without the Council. They would not be laughing for long. The first week after Earth's announcement was filled with laughter. Council news channels made jokes about the dramatic humans and their hurt feelings. Political commentators said Earth would come back in a month. Merchants planned to raise prices on human goods since demand would increase when the silly withdrawal ended. Everyone was certain this was just a tantrum that would pass. Then the humans actually started leaving. Trade Minister Bae Ji-woo stood in her office on the trading station called Golden Market. Around her, hundreds of human workers were packing boxes, shutting down computers, and carrying equipment to waiting ships. She had been the head of Earth's trading operations in this sector for 15 years. She knew every merchant, every deal, every flow of money. And she knew exactly what was going to happen when she left. Her alien assistant, a small blue creature named Tovik, watched the packing with wide eyes. Minister Bae, surely this is not real. Surely Earth will change its mind. Jiwoo shook her head. The decision is final, Tovik. I am sorry. But Tovik looked around at the chaos. We cannot run this station without you. Human merchants control most of the luxury goods trade. Human bankers manage most of the investment funds. Human accountants do the books for half the businesses here. I know, Jiwoo said. You will have to learn to do these things yourselves. She did not say what she was thinking, which was that they would fail. The council species had become lazy over the centuries. They gave the hard jobs to humans and kept the easy jobs for themselves. They did not know how to run their own economy anymore. Across council space, similar scenes were happening everywhere. On the planet Velos Prime, Commander Ro Tae-hee oversaw the removal of defense systems from the council's largest military base. Human engineers had built most of the weapons, shields, and sensors. They had also built the software that controlled everything. When they left, they took the software with them. You cannot take the control programs, the base commander shouted at Tae-hee. Our weapons will not work without them. Tae-hee remained calm. The programs are human property. They were licensed to the council, not sold. The license ends with the treaty. Then leave us copies. We will pay. The decision comes from Earth Command. I am sorry. She was not sorry. She remembered the council voting against Earth's membership. She remembered them laughing when Ambassador Kim Yuna walked out. Let them figure out their own weapons now. The worst was happening at the medical stations. On a planet called Refuge 7, a disease was spreading through the population. It was a lung sickness that made people drown in fluid. Council doctors could not stop it. Only human medicine was working. Captain Lee Sujin commanded the medical ship, Mercy's Hand. She had been treating patients on Refuge 7 for 3 months. She had saved thousands of lives. And now, she had orders to leave. She stood in the hospital, looking at the rows of sick people. Many were children. Their parents stood beside them, begging with their eyes. Please, said one mother, a tall creature with silver skin. My daughter will die without your medicine. Sujin felt her heart breaking. She was a doctor. She had sworn to help the sick. How could she leave these people to die? But she was also a soldier. She had orders. I have transmitted all our research to your doctors, she said. All our formulas. All our treatment methods. They have everything they need to continue the work. But they do not understand the formulas, the mother cried. They say human medicine is too complex. This was true. Human medical science was far ahead of the councils. Humans lived shorter lives, so they worked harder to fight death. They had developed cures for diseases that council doctors thought were impossible to treat. Sujin wanted to stay. Every part of her wanted to stay. But she knew if she disobeyed orders, she would be arrested. And that would not save anyone. I am sorry, she said. It was all she could say. As she walked to the shuttle that would take her to her ship, she made a decision. She could not disobey orders completely, but she could bend them. A little. She spent the next 6 hours on her computer, writing everything she knew about the disease in the simplest possible language. She drew pictures. She made videos. She explained every step of the treatment as if she was teaching a child. Then she transmitted it all to the hospital before her ship left orbit. Maybe it would help. Maybe the council doctors would understand now. Maybe some of the children would live. Or maybe not. Maybe they would all die because the council was too proud to give humans respect. By the end of the 3rd week, the jokes had stopped. The economy was falling apart. Without human merchants, trade routes were disrupted. Without human bankers, investments were frozen. Without human accountants, businesses could not balance their books. The council currency lost 20% of its value in one day. Power systems were failing on dozens of stations. Human engineers had designed most of the reactors, and they had kept them running with constant small repairs that nobody else understood. Now the reactors were breaking down one by one. Some stations lost artificial gravity, some lost life support. People died, and on the borders of council space, something even worse was happening. The Dominion of Krath was a hostile nation on the far side of the galaxy. They had been at war with the Council for centuries. The only thing stopping them from invading was the defense line, which was mostly crewed by human ships. When the human ships left, the Krath noticed immediately. General Krathvor stood on the bridge of his flagship and looked at the empty border. No human ships. No human weapons. No human tactics. Just weak council vessels that his forces could destroy easily. He smiled with his many teeth. "Begin the invasion," he said. On day 30, the last human ship prepared to leave council space. It was a small transport carrying the final embassy staff. Ambassador Kim Yuna was on board. She stood at the window and watched Harmony Prime, the council's capital station, grow smaller behind them. She had spent 50 years of her life trying to make the council accept humanity. 50 years of smiling at insults. 50 years of being polite to people who thought she was less than them. She felt tired, but she also felt free. "Ambassador," said the pilot, "we are approaching the border." Yuna nodded. "Take us through." The ship crossed into Earth-controlled space. Behind them, the border sealed. But it did not seal with a wall or a force field. It sealed with something much more complete. Admiral Park Do-hyun had given the order from Earth Command. The fold drive network activated. The entire Sol system, all 47 Earth colonies, and all the space in between simply disconnected from normal space. Any council ship that tried to enter Earth territory would find nothing there. Just empty void. Earth had not just left the council. Earth had left the universe. On Harmony Prime, High Arbiter Velos received the report with shock. "What do you mean, they are gone?" "Gone where?" "We do not know," said his advisor. "Our ships cannot find them. It is as if their entire territory no longer exists." Velos felt the first cold touch of fear in his crystal heart. This was not a tantrum. This was not a negotiation tactic. The humans were really gone, and with them went the engineers who kept the stations running, the doctors who cured the sick, the soldiers who held the borders, the merchants who ran the economy, the scientists who solved the problems. For the first time in his long life, Velos understood that he had made a terrible mistake, but it was too late to fix it now. 2 months after Earth vanished, the galaxy was falling apart. Admiral Yoon Ha-jun sat in his command center deep inside Earth space, watching the reports come in from hidden observation posts scattered throughout Council territory. The posts were small and quiet, designed to watch without being seen. They showed him everything that was happening, and what was happening was collapse. On the planet Velos Prime, the capital world of the High Arbiter's species, power stations were failing every day. Human engineers had built those stations to be efficient and complex. Council engineers did not understand them. When something broke, they could not fix it. They tried to replace human parts with their own technology, but it did not work as well. Some neighborhoods had power for only a few hours each day. The hospitals were worse. The disease on Refuge 7 had spread to 4 more planets. 50 million people had died already. Council doctors worked day and night, but they could not stop it. Some of them tried to follow Captain Lee Soo-jin's instructions, but they made mistakes. Human medicine was too advanced for them. They were like children trying to read an adult book. Counselor Prin of the Velith had been right to worry. She had voted for Earth's membership. She had warned the Council not to insult humanity. Now she stood before the emergency session and said what everyone was thinking but nobody wanted to admit. "We are dying," she said. "Our stations are failing. Our people are sick. Our economy is destroyed. And the Krath are coming." The Krath invasion had been brutal and fast. General Krathvor's fleet had conquered 3 star systems in 2 months. Council ships fought bravely, but they were outmatched. Without human weapons and tactics, they could not win. The Krath pushed deeper into Council space every week. High Arbiter Velos sat in his chair and listened to Prin with a face like stone. He did not want to hear this. He had told everyone that humans were not important. He had told everyone they would come back. He had been wrong about everything. "What do you suggest?" he asked Prin. His voice was quiet. He sounded tired. "We must contact Earth," Prin said. Velos shook his head. "We have tried. We sent ships to their last known location. There is nothing there. We transmitted messages on all frequencies. There is no response. Earth does not exist anymore." "They exist," Prin said firmly. "They are just hiding from us. And can you blame them? We treated them like servants. We took their soldiers and gave them nothing. We laughed at them when they asked for respect. They were not ready for respect." Velos snapped. "Humans are young and violent and emotional." Prin stepped closer to him. She was small for her species, but she was not afraid of the High Arbiter. "Humans saved us from the Void Swarm. 2 million of them died fighting for us, and we responded by trying to steal their technology. We were the ones who were not ready for respect. We did not deserve their help. And now, we are paying the price." Velos wanted to argue with her. He wanted to explain why he was right and she was wrong. But he could not. Because deep inside, he knew she was telling the truth. He had been afraid of humans. He had seen their wars on their history videos. He had seen how they fought and killed each other. It scared him. He thought if he gave them power in the council, they would use it to dominate everyone else. So he kept them down. He called them aggressive. He called them primitive. He thought he was protecting the galaxy. Instead, he had destroyed it. "Send another message," he said quietly. "Tell them we were wrong. Tell them we are sorry. Tell them we need them." The message went out into the void. Like all the others, it received no answer. Inside Earth space, Admiral Yoon Ha-jun read the message and felt nothing. He had heard too many council lies over the years. This was probably just another trick to get Earth to come back and serve them again. His aide, a young officer named Lieutenant Kang Somi, looked at the message with softer eyes. "Sir, they sound sincere. Maybe we should respond." Ha-jun shook his head. "They are sincere because they are desperate. If we go back now, nothing will change. They will use us until they are safe, and then they will treat us like servants again. But people are dying, millions of people. People who laughed at us. People who voted to take our technology. People who called us primitive." Somi was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Not all of them. Councillor Prin voted for us. 6 species voted for us. And there are billions of ordinary people who never voted for anything. Children. Families. Are we going to let them die because their leaders were cruel?" Ha-jun did not answer. He looked at the screens, showing the council worlds burning. The Krath ships advancing. The death counts rising. He thought about all the insults. All the years of being treated like a useful animal. All the friends who died fighting the Void Swarm for people who did not even say thank you. Part of him wanted to let the council burn. They had earned it. But another part of him remembered why he became a soldier. Not to punish enemies. To protect people. "Forward the message to Earth Command," he said finally. "Let the president decide." As weeks passed, the situation grew worse. The Krath conquered 2 more systems. The disease spread to 6 more planets. The council economy collapsed completely. People were hungry. People were scared. People were dying by the millions. Velos made more messages. He promised Earth anything they wanted. Full membership. Control of the council military. Unlimited trading rights. He offered to step down from his position. He offered to name a human as the new High Arbiter. He begged and pleaded and promised. Still, there was no answer. Councillor Prin made her own message. She did not make promises or offers. She simply spoke from her heart. "Humans of Earth," she said, "I do not blame you for leaving. We treated you badly. We used you and gave nothing back. You owe us nothing, but I want you to know that some of us saw the truth. Some of us knew you deserved better, and some of us are truly sorry. Not because we need your help, because we were wrong. Whatever you decide, I hope you find happiness in your new home. You deserved better than us. And to see that, when you have your new home, on Earth, President Nam Unji watched Prin's message with tears in her eyes. This was different from Velos's desperate promises. This was real. She looked at Admiral Hajun, who was standing beside her. What do you think? Rum. One. Hajun's face was hard to read. I think Prin means what she says. I also think she is only one voice among 47 species. Even if we go back, the others will not change. Maybe, Yunji said. Or maybe this is the moment when change becomes possible. They are broken now. They are scared. Scared people can learn new things. Or they can become more dangerous. The president nodded slowly. True. But we have to decide what kind of people we want to be. Do we want to be the species that lets the galaxy burn because we were hurt? Or do we want to be something better? She stood up and walked to the window. Outside, she could see the cities of Earth, peaceful and bright. The fold drive network kept them safe from everything. They could stay here forever, hidden and protected, and let the universe tear itself apart. But that was not who humans were. Humans did not hide. Humans faced problems. Humans helped people. Even people who did not deserve it. Call the parliament, she said. It is time to make a choice. The Krath fleet surrounded Harmony Prime. 200 warships formed a ring around the Council's capital station, their weapons charged and ready. Inside the station, 10 million people waited to die. High Arbiter Velos stood on the command deck and watched the enemy ships on his screen. He had never felt so helpless. His fleet was destroyed. His allies were scattered. His people were trapped. General Krathvor's face appeared on the communication screen. He was smiling with all 3 rows of his sharp teeth. High Arbiter, he said. Your council is finished. Surrender now, and I will make the deaths quick. Resist, and I will make them slow. Velos said nothing. What could he say? He had no ships. He had no weapons. He had no hope. Krathvor laughed. Where are your humans now, High Arbiter? Where are the primitive soldiers you used to protect you? Oh yes. I heard what happened. You insulted them, and they left. Very foolish. Humans were the only thing I feared. Without them, you are nothing. He leaned closer to the screen. I will give you 1 hour to surrender. After that, I will start destroying sections of your station. I will kill 1 million people every hour until you give up. The choice is yours. The screen went dark. Velos felt his crystal body shaking. This was the end. The council would fall. His people would die. And it was all his fault. Counselor Prin stood beside him. We should send one more message to Earth, she said quietly. Why? Velos asked. They will not answer. They hate us. Maybe. But we should try. And this time, you should speak. Not to negotiate. Not to make promises. Just to tell the truth. Velos looked at her for a long moment. Then he nodded. What did he have to lose? He stood in front of the camera and began to speak. He did not read from a script. He just said what was in his heart. People of Earth, he said. This is High Arbiter Velos. I am not calling to make deals or offers. I am calling to say that I was wrong. I treated your species with disrespect. I called you aggressive when you were brave. I called you primitive when you were advanced. I called you dangerous when you were just different from us. I was afraid of you. And I let that fear turn into cruelty. I took your help and gave nothing back. I used your soldiers and did not honor their sacrifice. I tried to steal what you built, instead of earning your partnership. These things were wrong. I know that now. I knew it before, but I did not want to admit it. I am not asking you to save us. We do not deserve your help. I am only asking you to forgive us. Not for our sake, for yours, so you do not carry anger in your hearts forever. Whatever happens today, I want you to know that I am sorry, truly sorry, for everything." He ended the transmission. Then he sat down and waited to die. On Earth, President Nam Unji watched Velos's message with her cabinet around her. The room was silent when it finished. "He means it," said Admiral Park Do-hyun. "I can see it in his eyes. He is not acting." Unji nodded. "I believe you are right." Minister of Defense, Oh Jinwoo, spoke up. "Even if he means it, we should not go back. The Krath have 200 ships. We would lose hundreds of our people trying to save them." "Maybe," said Fleet Admiral Shin Dong-wook. He was the commander of Earth's main battle fleet. A calm man who rarely spoke. "Or maybe not. We have been building new ships while we were hidden. New weapons. New shields. The Krath have never seen what we can do now." "How many ships do we have?" Unji asked. 400. All with the newest technology." Unji thought about this. 400 ships against 200. Good odds. But people would still die. Earth soldiers would die to save Council citizens who had treated them like dirt. She looked around the room at her advisors. "I want to hear from everyone. Should we go back?" The debate lasted 2 hours. Some said yes. Some said no. Some said they should save the civilians but let the council leaders die. Some said they should demand payment before helping. Everyone had an opinion. Finally, Unji raised her hand for silence. She stood and faced them. "We could let them fall. They earned it. Every insult, every rejection, every stolen idea. They earned what is happening to them. If we stay here and let the Krath destroy them, we would be justified." She paused. "But that is not who we are. We are not a species that watches people die and says they deserved it. We are not a species that lets children burn because their leaders were cruel. We are humanity, and humanity helps people, even when they do not deserve it. Maybe especially when they do not deserve it, because that is what makes us different. That is what makes us better." She looked at Admiral Shin. "Launch the fleet." The order went out across Earth space. 400 warships powered up their engines. Soldiers ran to their stations. Pilots climbed into their fighters. The largest military force Earth had ever assembled prepared for battle. Admiral Shin stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Resolve. Around him, his crew worked with quiet efficiency. They were not scared. They were ready. "All ships report ready," said his aide. "Full drive network standing by." Shin nodded. "Open a channel to the fleet." His face appeared on screens across all 400 ships. "This is Admiral Shin. We are about to fight for people who did not fight for us. We are about to die for people who would not die for us. Some of you are angry about this. I understand. I am angry too. But today we show the galaxy what humanity really is. Not the aggressive primitives they called us. Not the dangerous animals they feared. That we are the people who do the right thing even when it is hard. We are the people who save lives, even when we are not thanked. We are humanity. And today, humanity goes to war. All ships, activate full drive. Let's bring our people home." The 400 ships vanished from Earth space. General Krathvor stood on his bridge, watching the clock count down. 50 minutes had passed. 10 minutes, until he started killing. He was looking forward to it. Then his sensor officer screamed, "Contact. Multiple contacts. Directly between us and the station." Krathvor looked at the screen and felt his blood turn cold. 400 human warships had appeared from nowhere. They were bigger than any ships he had seen before. Their hulls were smooth and dark. Their weapons were already glowing with power. One ship moved forward from the fleet. A transmission came through. Admiral Shin's face appeared on Krathvor's screen. "This is the Earth fleet. You are ordered to withdraw from Council space immediately. If you do not leave, we will destroy you. You have 1 minute to decide. Krathvor stared at the human. Then he laughed. You think I am afraid of you? You are outnumbered 2-1. You are mistaken, Shin said calmly. You are outmatched completely. Krathvor cut the transmission. All ships, attack. Destroy them all. The Krath fleet charged forward. Their weapons fired. Missiles and energy beams flew toward the human ships. The human shields absorbed everything. Not a single shot got through. Then, the human ships fired back. The battle lasted 4 hours. It was not really a battle. It was a lesson. Human weapons cut through Krath shields like they were not there. Human fighters flew circles around Krath pilots. Human tactics confused and trapped Krath commanders. Every time the Krath tried something, the humans were already prepared for it. By the end, the Krath fleet was destroyed. Every single ship, Krathvor himself, was captured when his flagship was disabled and boarded. Earth lost 12 ships. 12 ships against 200 enemy vessels destroyed. It was the most one-sided victory in galactic history. When it was over, Admiral Shin opened a channel to Harmony Prime. High Arbiter Velos appeared on the screen. His crystal face was wet with something that might have been tears. You came, he whispered. After everything we did, you came. Shin nodded. We came. But understand this. We are not your servants. We are not your shield. We came because it was right. What happens next is up to you. Velos bowed his head. Thank you. I do not have the words to thank you enough. Then do not use words, Shin said. Use actions. Show us that you have changed. That is the only thanks we need. He closed the channel. On the bridge of the Resolve, Lieutenant Kang Somi looked at her admiral with pride. Shin nodded slowly. We saved them today. But the real question is whether they can save themselves tomorrow. Whether they can be better than they were. Do you think they can? Shin thought about Velos's apology. He thought about Prin's message. He thought about the millions of innocent people on the station who never did anything wrong. I think they can try, he said. And maybe that is enough. 1 year had passed since the Battle of Harmony Prime. The galaxy was healing. Slowly and painfully, like a broken bone that was finally set right. The Krath Dominion had surrendered completely. Earth forces pushed them back to their home territory and established a permanent defense line. General Krathvor was tried for war crimes and imprisoned for life. His invasion had killed 60 million people, but it would have killed billions more if Earth had not returned. The disease that had spread across Council worlds was finally under control. Captain Lee Soo-jin had come back to lead the medical effort. With proper resources and support, human doctors trained thousands of Council physicians in their techniques. The death toll was terrible, but it could have been much worse. The economy was still weak, but it was recovering. Trade Minister Bai Ji-woo rebuilt the trading networks with new agreements that were fair to everyone. Human merchants returned to Council stations, but this time as equal partners, not as useful tools to be taxed and controlled. And in the Great Chamber on Harmony Prime, something historic was about to happen. High Arbiter Velos stood before the assembled council for the last time. His crystal body was dim. He looked tired and old, but his voice was steady as he spoke. I have served as High Arbiter for 200 years, he said. In that time, I made many decisions. Some were good, many were bad. The worst was my treatment of humanity. I let my fear blind me to their true nature. I saw their strength and called it aggression. I saw their passion and called it danger. I did not see their kindness, their bravery, their loyalty to those who do not deserve it. I was wrong, and my wrong nearly destroyed us all. He paused. Today I resign from my position. I am not fit to lead. I ask only that my people remember this lesson. Do not let fear make you cruel. Do not let pride make you foolish. And never, ever underestimate humans. He stepped down from his platform. Counselor Prin stepped up to take his place. She was the new High Arbiter, chosen by unanimous vote. Even the species who had opposed humans voted for her. They knew she was right all along. Prin looked out at the council with calm eyes. My first act as High Arbiter is to address an old wrong. I call on Ambassador Kim Yuna of Earth to come forward. The chamber doors opened. Ambassador Kim Yuna walked in, just as she had walked in 1 year ago. But everything was different now. No one was looking down at her with contempt. No one was laughing at the primitive human. Every eye in the chamber watched her with respect. Prin spoke clearly so everyone could hear. Ambassador Yuna, 1 year ago this council rejected Earth's petition for membership. We called your species unready. We called you aggressive and immature. We were wrong. You have proven your worth 1,000 times over. You saved us when we did not deserve saving. You helped us when we did not deserve help. And so today, I offer Earth not just membership in this council, but a permanent seat among the founding species. Equal voice, equal vote, equal respect. Will you accept? Yuna looked up at Prin for a long moment. She thought about all the years of insults, all the closed doors and rejected petitions, all the friends who died in the Void Swarm War without even a thank you. Then she thought about what President Nam Unji had told her before she came here. We did not come back for revenge or reward. We came back because it was right. So, if they offer us a seat, we should take it. Not because we need it, because it gives us the power to make things better. I accept, Yuna said. On certain conditions. A murmur went through the chamber. Conditions? Prin raised her hand for silence. Name them. First, the council must restructure. No more senior and junior species. Every member has equal voting rights. Prin nodded. Agreed. Second, technology sharing must be fair. No more demanding that one species give up its inventions without payment. Knowledge is traded as equal partners, not taken by force. Agreed. Third, Earth will help rebuild what was lost. We will send engineers, doctors, teachers, soldiers. But we will not be servants. We will be partners. We will work beside you, not below you. Prin smiled. Agreed. Is there anything else? Yuna shook her head. That is all. We do not want to rule you. We only want to work with you. As equals. Prin turned to the council. You have heard the conditions. All in favor? Every light turned green. 47 votes for yes. 0 votes for no. Then it is done, Prin said. Earth is now a full member of the Galactic Council. Welcome home, Ambassador. The chamber erupted in applause. Alien voices cheered and clicked, and hummed in their various languages. Yuna stood in the center of it all, and felt tears on her cheeks. After 300 years, humanity finally had a seat at the table. 1 month later, President Nam Unji came to Harmony Prime to give a speech. The entire galaxy was watching. She stood on a platform in the central plaza, surrounded by millions of beings from every species. Human soldiers stood beside council guards. Human doctors worked in the hospitals down the street. Human children played with alien children in the parks. 1 year ago, Unji said, Earth left this galaxy. We were hurt and angry. We felt used and disrespected. We wanted to hide from you forever. But we came back, not because we needed you, not because we wanted power. We came back because we saw people in pain, and we could not look away. That is who humans are. We are not perfect. We are not always wise. We make mistakes and we fight with each other, and we sometimes let our emotions control us. But we do not abandon people in need. Even people who hurt us. Even people who do not deserve our help. Because we believe that everyone deserves a chance to be better. She looked out at the crowd. We have that chance now. All of us. human and alien. We can build something new together. Not an empire ruled by fear, not a council controlled by pride, but a true partnership. A family of species that works together, learns together, and grows together. It will not be easy. We will disagree. We will argue. We will make mistakes. But if we keep trying, if we keep believing in each other, we can do something that has never been done before. We can become something greater than any of us could be alone. 1, 2000, she smiled. Earth did not come back to lead you. We came back to walk beside you. Let us see where that walk takes us. The crowd cheered so loud that the sound shook the station. 6 months later, the first joint exploration fleet launched toward a distant galaxy that no one had ever visited. 50 ships from 12 species, carrying scientists, pilots, and diplomats from every corner of Council space. At the head of the fleet was the Unity, a ship built with technology from humans, Velith, Krath survivors who had defected, and half a dozen other species. It was the most advanced ship ever created, and it belonged to everyone. Admiral Park Do-hyun stood on the bridge, looking at the stars on the main screen. Beside him stood Counselor Prin, who had asked to join the mission personally. "Are you nervous?" she asked. Do-hyun smiled. "Excited. This is what we were always meant to do. Not fight each other, not compete for power, but explore together, learn together, build together." "I wish we had understood that earlier," Prin said. "So much pain could have been avoided. Maybe, but we understand it now. That is what matters." The communication officer spoke up. "Admiral, all ships report ready. The new galaxy is waiting." Do-hyun nodded. He opened a channel to the fleet. "This is Admiral Park. 1 year ago, we were enemies. Today, we are partners. Tomorrow, we will be pioneers. Let us go find out what is waiting for us out there. All ships, activate fold drive." The fleet engaged its engines. 50 ships vanished from known space, jumping across the void to somewhere new. Behind them, the galaxy they left was still healing, still learning, still making mistakes. But it was trying, and that was enough. On Harmony Prime, former High Arbiter Velos watched the fleet depart on a public screen. He was just another citizen now, living quietly and bothering no one. He thought about the humans he had feared for so long. He thought about their strength and their kindness and their strange way of forgiving people who did not deserve it. He had been afraid that humans would conquer the galaxy if he gave them power. Instead, they had saved it. And now, they were leading it towards something better. Maybe being wrong was not so bad, he thought. Not if it led to something like this. He smiled and walked away, disappearing into the crowd of humans and aliens living together in peace. The story of Earth and the Council was not over. It was just beginning. And for the first time in a long time, the ending looked bright.